Starting off on Lesson 11, we are going to be working on writing titles. So go ahead and turn to Worksheet 1. These are representative of the last sentence in a paragraph because that is where you want to pull your title from. We're going to just pull a couple of key words and phrases from here, and we're going to type these up into the boxes, the lines that you have down below. Bear in mind, whenever you write a title, you always want to have the very first word and the very last word with the first letter capitalized. Those are the ones that I will take off points for if you don't have those capitalized. If you have any words in between them, do your best to capitalize them. I will correct you if you get it wrong, but I will not take off points as far as the middle words are concerned. But the ones on the ends, I will take off points for those if you don't capitalize those correctly. So starting off, let's do certain phrases from here. So we have things like keep our minds alive, God's word, feed our souls. Those would be some critical ones to use. So go ahead and either highlight or underline. Keep our minds alive, God's word, and feed our souls. You can highlight that pink or you can just underline it in pencil. I don't care either way, but let's just type up keep our minds alive, as well as God's word. And then let's change up the last one. Instead of saying feed our souls, let's say feeding our souls. So I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. If you find that I'm moving too fast and you need to pause in order to get everything written down, go ahead and pause and then hit play and move on. On this next one, thinking of pigs and beautiful flowers may help us to realize how much God has done for us and is going to do. So go ahead and underline something like, we can say thinking of pigs and flowers. Maybe help us to realize. God has done. We could also say God is going to do. Also bear in mind you really do not want to have at all complete sentences in your title. Stay away from those. There's a couple of reasons why. Part of it is whenever students do that, they tend to they lose their introductory sentence and they move automatically into their paragraph because you have in your first sentence of the paragraph you have to have your topic and an opinion about your topic. And if you have a complete sentence as a title, you tend to forget that part. So starting off here, we'll say thinking of pigs and flowers help us to realize. And let's switch this last part around and say God is going to do. Okay, finish that up. I'm going to go ahead and move down. We have number 3. God sent his angels to take care of Elisha. Let's do God sent his angels and care of Elisha. And let's type those up. So God sent, that's one title. His angels, another title. Care of Elisha, last one. Any one of these could work. Then we have he is always the same wonderful God. So we can do he is. We can do always the same. And we can also do wonderful God. We just don't want to do the whole thing, but we can break it up. So he is always the same and wonderful God. All right, and then number 5, long one. We can know that the world was made by God because the trees and the flowers and the sunshine and the rain are his footprints to tell us he has been here. We can do made by God. Let's do his footprints. And let's do the world. So, the world made by God, his footprints. Okay. Once you have all of those written out, go ahead, pop this page out of your binder, and then put it underneath your lesson notes tab. And then move on to the next page. You will need your highlighters out, just pink, blue, yellow, green, and orange, no purple. And you're going to highlight your paragraph organization, like this. So you have two paragraph organizations, this one and the one right after it. Go ahead and highlight them with the topic and opinion as pink, both of them. First silly solution will be blue. Second silly solution will be yellow. Third silly solution will be green. Fourth silly solution will be orange. And the last one is pink. So go ahead, hit pause, and highlight both paragraph organizations, and then come back and we will finish filling this out. So starting off, we are going to be doing a silly topic today. This will also be a how-to paragraph, but not necessarily the complete step-by-step as we did last week. This one is just going to be complete silly solutions. They can come in any order. It doesn't really matter. The idea is just to think of something that's super crazy, but you cannot be gross. You're not allowed to be gross. But our topic is how to get rid of hiccups. So go ahead and write that in up at the top underneath number 1, state your topic. And then we're going to move into the brainstorming. Let's start off with the first one and say, hiccups a challenge, bothersome, nuisance, embarrassing. You don't necessarily want to put all of this into your first sentence because you still need some of it to go into your conclusion, your last sentence. So only choose a couple of these whenever you put it into your outline. Okay, now I still have some of these that are saved from Monday, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. So first silly solution, let's see, does it have it? All right, let's do drink a bottle of ketchup while standing on head and then run in circles. So go ahead and write that one down. Next silly solution. It's not going to give them to me. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create my own. Okay, we'll say stick your head under a faucet with cold water scrunch up your face and scream for the hiccups to leave. Okay, third silly solution. Let's do something like run all the way to the mailbox in your pajamas several times with a box on your head. And remember, these are not meant to actually work. Continuing with the lesson, you'll want to be on the fourth silly solution and try writing leap in front of a mirror and make funny faces at yourself until you scare yourself silly. Okay. And then how would someone feel to complete the task? What was accomplished? We're going to say relieved, triumphant, excited, but keep calm or they may come back. So I actually take back what I said in the beginning. We do have a conclusion on this one. Paragraph class is the one, a different class that doesn't have this down at the bottom. So, okay, so we have that now. Now you are going to turn 2 pages over to what is called the process outline. So the block process outline, you have a total of 3 outlines. They're only on 2 pages. But this one starts off with Roman numeral 1. You're to state your topic and opinion about the topic. So this is worksheet 4. This is what you're going to fill in the blanks. So your outline, all of your outlines will need to be highlighted the same way. This one will show you how. So state topic and opinion about your topic. Those are crucial. If you do not do one or both of them, it's 5 points each for not having that. Okay, on the second sentence where it says A, that's where you're going to write first silly solution and highlight A blue. B is yellow. It's the second silly solution. C is green. It's the third silly solution. D is orange. It's the fourth silly solution. And then Roman numeral 2 is pink. You are to restate your topic with an opinion of the completed task. So go ahead and make sure that all 3 of your outlines are highlighted this way. And then we're going to go ahead and fill in this one. Let's see. Wanted to see if it would have, there we go. Quite a few, but it is in there. Okay, so hiccups, a challenge, bothersome, nuisance, embarrassing. Now, I'm going to have to scroll back up a little bit in order to pull what we came up with in order to pull it down here. So bear with me as the screen's going to be moving quite a bit. So for the next one on the blue, okay, copy that. And go down here. Nope, that's wrong. That's right. That's a little bit long. So do go on ahead and work from your paragraph organization and copy it on over. I will do it, but I can't quite fit everything on here. So just pull directly from your paragraph organization. Pull some keywords over to this. Okay, now the green. On over to the green section of your outline. Okay, now you're going to pull the orange from the paragraph organization and pull that over to your outline. And then we're going to take the pink I'm going to go ahead and try and make this into a complete sentence after I put it into here. All right, so I'm going to say, after conquering the hiccups, you will feel relieved and triumphant. Okay, and then you want the rest of it there, but keep calm or they may come back. So with the way I adjusted it, that is now a complete sentence which you may use in your paragraph. So now you should have a paragraph organization that's filled out as well as a blank one. You should have your process block outline, which was the prior one, and you should have this block outline as well as the one that should be down below it. So go ahead and pull these 4 pages, the 2 paragraph organizations and the 2 pages of outlines, pop those out and put those underneath assignments. So that should be your first tab. And then we are going to go over a paragraph on here which you do not have the paragraph I'm about to show you. Okay, so it starts off, this is an example. You are not to copy this. There are some similarities here, but not everything is the same. So this is just an example. But one of the key components that you have to have in your paragraph this week is 3 quality adjectives. So we're going to go through here, read through this, and I'm going to be talking about the quality adjectives and what you're looking for. So an adjective is a descriptive word that will describe a person, place, or thing in this case. You are only looking for adjectives that come right before nouns, which are the person, place, or thing. If it does not come in front of a noun, it will not qualify as a quality adjective. So we're going to go through here and we're going to circle these. So we have hiccups can be a challenge, even embarrassing in public situations, so they need to be overcome expediently. Now, challenge is technically an adjective, but it doesn't count as quality because it is describing hiccups, and hiccups comes before it, not after it. So hiccups can be a challenge, even embarrassing in public situations. What kind of situations? They're public situations, so that would count as a quality adjective. Next sentence. First, try drinking ketchup while standing on your head, and then immediately stand up and run around in circles. There are no quality adjectives in here. We don't have any describing words that come right before nouns. Remember, you have to have 3 of these. We already have 1, so we only need 2 more. If the hiccups remain, stick your head under a faucet of cold water, scrunch up your face, and yell, "Bad, bad hiccups, go away." We do have 1 quality adjective in here. It's right here with the word cold. It tells you what kind of water. All right, now down here in the green. Next, you could attempt to say ha ha for 100 times while looking at yourself in the mirror without laughing or even smiling. Adjectives answer the question which one, what kind, or how many. So right here we have how many times? 100 times. And be cautious with this because I don't allow this one too much. Otherwise, I have a bunch of students who tell me something like, she ran 1 mile, she gave 50 gifts, and they just use numbers as quality adjectives. And I want to discourage you from doing that a whole lot. I want to encourage you to use, broaden your vocabulary, use better words, don't just use numbers. Last, distract yourself by tickling your baby brother or sister. Baby can be a noun. It normally is a noun, but in this case it's telling you what kind of brother or sister. It's your baby brother or sister. Your hiccups may not go away at first, but eventually you might realize they are gone. When finally triumphant, remain calm and relaxed, or your annoying hiccups may come back. What kind of hiccups are they? In this case, they are annoying hiccups. So that is a quality adjective. So you would circle something like that. Okay, next we are going to be moving on to similes and hyperboles. This is worksheet 6 and worksheet 7. So there are a few things with these that we are going to encounter, but we'll cover that in the next video. So on worksheet 6, we are talking about hyperbole. Hyperbole is the extreme exaggeration of the truth used to make a point. These are very American type of figures of speech. Typically in places like England, you would see something that is known as an understatement. So whereas if you were out in the rain and you were just soaked, you came in, you were sopping wet, we would probably say something like, oh my goodness, you brought in an entire flood with you. That would be an extreme exaggeration. Now, in contrast, if you were over in England and you walked in and you were soaking wet, they might say something like, oh goodness, you're a wee bit wet, aren't you? So that would be an understatement. So in America, we always tend to overstate things. So extreme exaggeration, here are a couple of biblical examples. The rock poured me out rivers of oil. It's found in Job 19:6. It's another way of saying he had many good things. So like idioms that we've covered before, such as it's raining cats and dogs, we would understand the underlying meaning of that to just say, oh, it's raining hard. In this case, this is sort of a biblical idiom. Meaning he had many good things, but the rock poured me out rivers of oil. It doesn't really happen. Although some might make a case that it has to do with the water underground, but still you don't always see just all of these rocks breaking open and rivers of oil pouring out of them. So, good case of extreme exaggeration. Here are some other common hyperbole examples that you might have heard of. I've told you 1,000,000 times to shut the door. I had to wait forever. So go ahead and fill these blanks in on your worksheet. Other examples might be extremes. Her brain is the size of a pea. Or something like, if I don't get that game, I'm going to die. You know, it's something extreme. Here are other hyperbole examples. The home run went so high it knocked down the moon. You know you have usually hit hyperbole if you have stated something that is basically impossible. If it's kind of like, well, it's extreme, but it really is possible, then you haven't truly hit hyperbole. Here's another one. The elevator went so fast, my feet arrived 5 minutes before my head. Now, something that is also very easy to do, and it's done a lot, is you will take similes and you will blend them with hyperboles. But in this case, this is just talking about a simile, such as the star sparkled like a brilliant diamond. You have a star that's being compared to a diamond. Here is where you have a blend of a simile and a hyperbole. The elephant ran like a speeding bullet from the mouse. Elephants do not run at the speed of bullets, so this is basically impossible. Now, the trick is you have a choice of blending these or not blending these. So, a simile may be a hyperbole. There's a chance that it could be. But a simile does not have to be a hyperbole. A hyperbole may be a simile. A hyperbole does not have to be a simile. So you'll see cases where you just have hyperbole, you'll see cases where you just have a simile, and you'll see cases where the two are blended. Go ahead and turn to the next page. We're going to go ahead and complete these. So you're going to fill in the blanks with what I type on here. The cat's tail was as long as the ocean. Basically impossible. The fast dog was running like we're going to say a speeding train. The rabbit was nibbling loudly like a machine gun. Remember, just pause the video if I go too fast. The turkey was as slow as a dry creek bed. Or I should say as water in a dry creek bed. There is no water in a dry creek bed, which is the point. The snake was as long as a Houston freeway. The house was big like a mountain. The noisy pigs squealed like brakes from 10 semi-trucks. We're going to say the air was as thick as peanut butter. The giraffe was tall like space. Okay, now go ahead and scroll, or not scroll, go ahead and turn to, well, actually, go ahead and take the hyperbole pages, pop those out of your notebook, and put those under word list. Once you've done that, then go ahead and turn to your poetry page. So here's the example. This will be on worksheet 8. Go ahead and pull out purple, green, and blue and highlight your poem like this. Go ahead and hit pause, do that, and then continue on. So our topic is snow skiing. And if you notice, this is not an acrostic, but we have several things that come into this. So, fresh snow glistening, dazzling as diamonds, brilliant sun bouncing then burning rosy faces, paths turning, twisting, careening like a rushing river, skiers racing, speeding down like lightning bolts, skis cutting, slicing, spraying the snow, wind howling like wild coyotes. So if you notice, all of the purple are similes. The green right here is alliteration. Remember, alliteration is beginning with a consonant, which B is a consonant. Things that are not consonants are vowels. And the B all has the same sound, the B, B, B. You have to watch it on that because especially the letter C, you can have the ch, the k, or the s sound. And you have to stay consistent if you're going to go with a letter like C. Now, down here on this line, the whole line, you actually do have an alliteration there. You don't have to identify it. We already have it identified once. We have skis, slicing, spraying, snow. So all of that together, the 4 S's could be considered alliteration as well. The ones that are underlined on here are the similes that are also hyperboles. This one up here is not necessarily a hyperbole, but like a rushing river, like lightning bolts, howling like wild coyotes. This last one, I don't know if it would necessarily be considered a hyperbole, but my mom, who was the one who wrote this, does consider it to be, because I guess most of the time wind never howls as loud as a coyote. Maybe sometimes it does, though. But once you have that, go ahead and write these in. So each poem must be 6 lines with hyperbole on any 2 of the 6 lines. You are to have 4 similes somewhere in that poem, 1 set of a 3-word alliteration, and 1 set of 3 participles. Remember, participles are ing words, like you see up here. Twisting, turning, careening, cutting, slicing, spraying. And don't choose a word like thing. You want action words, because you wouldn't say thinging. You would just say thing. It doesn't really count. Okay, once you have that done, go ahead and turn to this page, which you should have, but don't fill it in with these words. These are what she used for the poem that I showed you. So again, this page is meant to help you. If it does not help you, don't use it. This is just to throw a bunch of ideas down so that you can come up with different things that you could possibly use. And it helps to bring in the different 5 senses. So whatever topic you choose from the assignment for your homework, that's what you would put up here. So she put snow skiing because that was what she was writing the poem about. Then go ahead and write down different things that you see with your topic. Then go ahead and write down different things that you feel with your topic. She felt the sun. She could also feel the wind blowing. Then write down things you could possibly taste, things you could smell, or things you can hear. Now, just because you put it down there doesn't mean you have to use it in your poem. This is so you can put down a bunch of ideas and use a few of them. Then descriptive words. This is where you can write down adjectives, describing words, verbs, action words of things that they might be doing, or participles, ing words. She has a lot of participles in here. The thing is, participles can either be adjectives or they can be verbs. They can also be other parts of speech, but right now we're not concerned with that. But participles could count as one or both of these, or basically either. So the past, you wrote down twisting and turning, glistening, racing, speeding. You not really have to use these. If you want to use some of them, that's okay in yours, but you don't want to have the exact same thing. She said bouncing and burning as far as the sun goes, the wind blowing. She said wild, snow, the taste was refreshing. Notice she didn't really use this in hers. The air, clean and clear, pine trees, refreshing. Do also remember, even though she wrote both of those down, don't repeat keywords in your poem. And then she said spraying and kiting as far as the snow goes. That's typically what people do in the snow whenever they're skiing. And she described the wind as howling. Then she put some things on the other side, because remember, you have to have at least 2 similes. So she could compare it to a rushing river, diamonds, skiers like lightning, or just words that you could associate it with. Rosy faces because of the sun burning them. The wind blowing, she wanted to bring in coyotes with that. She couldn't really think of anything for snow, and that's fine. If you cannot think up something to compare it to with what you have over here for any of them, then it's okay if you don't put it. This is just to give you ideas. She said God created as far as the air goes. And then again, she had wild coyotes down here for wind. So you're not required to identify the senses, but these are just here to help you. Now what you want to do is go ahead, pull those pages out and put those under. Actually, and go ahead and pull out your assignment page as well. Put those under assignments. You will also want to look at your assignment page. This is everything that is required for the work that you turn in next week. And down here, this is where you're going to choose your other how-to paragraph. Remember, this is not a step 1, step 2, step 3 necessarily. You're just coming up with different ways to get rid of these things or how to conquer them. Remember, you have to have 3 adjectives in each paragraph that you are to circle. And you also need to choose a topic for your one active poem, which must be 6 lines long. You are to title your poem and you are to type your poem. These are your possible topics. If you want to choose something else besides what is on here, text me or call me or email me and ask me permission, because I want to make sure that it's something that will actually work. Otherwise, you need to stick with the options that are on the assignment. So go ahead and pop out both poetry pages and the assignment page and put that under assignment. And then you're done as far as this lesson is concerned.